So here I am in the middle, looking the other way, down to the terminus. The sun's quite strong, hope it comes out. 27 points to motorise. I haven't started one yet, so I've got to do that. I'm going to do all that with accessory controllers. So it's all on DCC. I have drop wires on every single line throughout that station. Let me just move this out that way. There are drop wires on every single line there. There's two power buses underneath, one for the railway track and one for the accessories, which will power the points and any lights I do. I also have this station here and the branch line which goes up here on a separate power booster, which is 3 amp. There we go. And then it's all Hornby, powered by the Hornby Elite. And then the two main lines, basically there. I'm building a little bridge there going across. That is powered from the Hornby Elite. Going around to here. It's a diesel British Rail blue-grey type era. I'm in all sorts of a mess, as you can see at the moment, trying out bits and pieces. A couple of repaired locos there. Got a bit fed up with repairing things, to be honest with you. Every time I want to do something, I start by running a train, it doesn't work, and I have to spend an hour or two pulling it apart and fixing it. So I've only got a handful of locos which I call reliable. I can walk in, switch on the controller and off they go without stuttering, stalling, generally being a pain in the neck. Got a few new locos as well, which I'll come on to in another video. This is a new one, which didn't go to Papua New Guinea. I bought it, I don't know, 9 years ago, but it stayed in Australia, and it's a superb little runner. Picks up on every wheel, and just doesn't complain about anything, just goes all the time. So very happy with that one. Very happy with that one. This one on the other hand down here is a complete basket case and woeful. Again, I'll come on to that in another video. So that's my layout. It's controlled by Hornby Elite. Got the Hornby Elite about 9 years ago. It's one thing that did sort of work when it arrived from Papua New Guinea. Not totally unscathed. It's doing a few strange things, which means I think it's on its way out. Controller 1 works okay, all functions. Controller 2 only works the locomotive. It will not work on functions. Can't control any functions on that. The reason I bought the Elite was because when they brought it out, they were advertising that they were going to have an infrared handheld walkabout. So I thought, that's great. I do like it because it's got 2 throttles. And I thought, well, I'll go around, I'll buy that and then wait for the infrared. And of course that never arrived, they scrapped it. Don't know why. And I used 01 as a kid. As a sort of teenager I had 01 and loved it. When I learnt it had to have clean track. And it had a walkabout, handheld walkabout, and that's what sold the Elite for me. I thought, well, that's brilliant. So I'm happy with it, it's okay, but I think it's dying. It's doing a few odd things. I do have a walkabout select, which is good. It's got a 3 metre lead, which allows you to walk around. The problem with that, the select of course, is that I think it's questionable on other manufacturers' decoders. I think there's a big difference in controlling, say, something on a lens silver or a Bachmann with this, or this. This is fine. Not so sure about this on anything other than Hornby. I mean, it does work with them, but I think the finesse of controlling is not so good. And also the other big problem is that it only goes up to 59 locos, so On the Elite I had the 108 at 108 on an address, or my 117 at 117. You can't have that on a Select, so I've had to change them all. So there's a few downsides to it as well. But no trains running at the moment because it's too hot. I'm in the afternoon, it's about 31 degrees outside, and the problem there is the points expand, and any locomotive going over these sort of areas here, if they're hot, if they've been in the sun a little bit and they're hot, they short out. The locomotives short out, especially steam locomotives with the larger driving wheels. They will short out over this on the pico points here. And I get lots of shorts. So I don't bother running anything in the afternoon at this time of year because it's just too hot. Other than that, some of this track is pretty old. That's naturally weathered. That's not me weathering that track, that is naturally off colour and oxidised and grotty. That's because these pieces of track are probably about 12-15 years old. Still okay, I think. Yeah, still okay. Still got a click. So that one's looking a bit odd. I have changed a couple. That's a Hornby, dreaded Hornby point in there. That's a new one, and I've had to change it's a nice shiny pico point here. Yeah, it's a nice positive click. Because that point gave up completely, the old pico that was in there. Okay, so that's a brief overview. Sorry about my camera work, I'm new at this. I will do some more detailed videoing over the next few weeks as I get on top of things. Show you what locos I've repaired. There's a few locos sitting on the rails here that don't work. There's a couple there. Class 26 and a 25. That's a old Lima 117 there. That model probably must be 35 years old. I changed it. I put a CAN motor in from a Hornby bubble car. I did that in PNG, and it works beautifully. You see that? Of course the CAN motor got stuffed up coming here, so you cannot buy the sealed unit repair or replacement motors for them anymore. So what I did was I went onto the Hornby website, looked at their service sheets, saw that the Class 31 Railroad has the same CAN motor as the 121 bubble car. So I ordered the Class 31 motor, pulled it apart and put all the bits into the old bubble car unit, and she works beautifully. It's one of my favourite locos, even though it's so old. Yeah. Okay, so that's, haven't got a name for this yet, probably Kampala Road, because I'm living in Kampala. 3 stations at the terminus there, the small little wayside halt here, and there's going to be a station down here. A through station there. I've got a bit of Hornby platform on that side, and then I've got some Pico platform to go down there. And then a station building towards the end, I guess. Yeah, that Class 33 there is not working properly, that's suffering from all sorts of problems. I'm just a bit fed up with fixing things at the moment, so she's going to have to wait. You can see some shoring up work going on. This baseboard has buckled, can you see that? Buckled badly. The sun is in. So yeah, there's some serious buckling going on there with the baseboard. Something tells me I should rip it out and throw it away, but I can't be bothered. So I'm shoring up the track work. None of that is laid down permanently yet. Let's see where we go. And again, in the heat of the day, I'm really sort of waiting for that baseboard to settle down and then see where we go from there. Okay, I'm going to paint that bridge grey, get rid of the Hornby plastic green. There's quite tight curves there on my little branch line, so only the DMUs and smaller locos can go along this line. The bridge over the abyss. I'd be a worried passenger if I was going across that, so I've got to put something underneath here to make it look a little bit more realistic or appetising for passengers going across. Yeah, then a small little, again, bit of Hornby platform in there at the moment, just to make do until I do something about it. But I really do want two lines there, two little roads, so that the DMUs can swap over. When one arrives, one can go. And they head down to that side of the terminus where the 117 is currently positioned. The station, I sort of got the idea of the single lane double platform there from my days watching trains in Liverpool Street. And again with the 3 lanes in the middle there, that was Liverpool Street as well. When I used to do things like train spotting. I have an overroof to go along there, but I'll put that in once I've done the ballasting and the point motors, etc. Been trying a little bit of ballasting, watching the how-tos on YouTube, and this is the most technically difficult bit, I think, to do. So I've been faffing around doing a bit of ballasting. I've got to tidy that up. There's a few little stones on the sleepers you can see which are in the way. But yeah, watching people. I'm very thankful for everybody who does put up their videos. I mean, I'm going to do some thank yous on later videos, but I have been watching, you know, the guys like Everard Junction and Dean Park Station, to name a couple, and they are superb, way above my league, but they are inspirational. The other one I do watch quite a bit is Beringer and District, which I find fascinating. And they're all extremely helpful. Susanna there is obviously a complete enthusiast and very inspirational. So that's it. I'll leave it there for the moment, and I'll come back with a bit more information. Sorry there's nothing running, but it's just too warm at the moment. The trains would just hit the points and short out. Very frustrating. I might do, the morning time is the best time to run trains, morning and evenings. Okay, I think that's about it. The next video I'll do, I'll explain a bit more about the problems I've had with locos and repairing them, and the ins and outs. I have to say, 3 months ago I would not have touched a ring fill motor, I was too scared. At the weekend I completely stripped down a class 50, which is probably the most complex one I've done. This one round here. And with an incorrect PCB, I found out later, this loco is probably, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, but I took her out of the box for the first time at the weekend, and after changing the CAN motor, cleaning the pickups, pulling everything apart, disconnecting the PCB, I then couldn't get it to work and found that the PCBs were faulty on the early locos that Hornby introduced. So I've had to, by trial and error with the original PCB, I've got it to work perfectly and she runs beautifully, but I've got problems with lights and everything, so I do need the correct PCB with replacement to go in, but another story. That's a Hellion 47 behind, that's my favourite locomotive. Very old. Done a lot of running hours, probably the most heavily used locomotive I have. And again I had to repair her from scratch and pull them apart. It's interesting how different manufacturers approach the building of these locomotives. Some are simple and some make it extremely difficult. Okay, that's it for now. I shall do another video upload later, more detail about my issues and repairing locomotives. Cheers for now.